What does exist does not exist. If this remains unclear to you, you dwell far from the inner truth. To say that something exists implies substantiality and separation. To say that something exists means to separate it out from its context. In all definitions, there exists a background context, such as the purpose of the definer, the unexamined premises the definer holds that accompany the definer like unacknowledged wraiths, the history of the class the definer wants to define, the assumption of the importance of definition, and ultimately the context spreads to infinity in space, time, realms, and causal nexus. When we think of a thing, abstracting it from context, this very gesture of abstraction has a history and purpose. The gesture of abstraction itself resides within the web of interconnectedness. Abstraction, separating out of context, serves a useful purpose in the creation of things, in our perception of things. We need to know the difference between a rock in the road and an oncoming truck. This does not mean, however, that the truck and the rock exist in isolation, separately. They don't. They have a history of relationship, very complex and rich. When we evade that, we assert substantial existence. We assert truckness and rockness and keep them separate from each other. When we assert existence, we attempt to freeze the world into a stasis. This can happen at many levels. At the level of politics, the assertion of substantial existence leads to hostility toward innovation and encourages political repression. At the level of metaphysics, it leads to being-based ontologies which subsume appearance into illusion, bifurcating existence into the real and the unreal. Not that things exist, but that the primal process of existence in things, the world. Not that things exist, rather occasions emerge out of interaction. Not that things exist, rather each moment blossoms forth creatively in newing the world. Sengcan warns that if this remains unclear, you remain far from the inner truth. Why inner? I believe this refers to the process of meditation and contemplation. In this inner process, we first become aware of this primal process when we perceive the fluidity of our thought stream and our emotion stream. We directly perceive the non-substantiality of our interior world. Turning inward to the realm of thoughts and feelings, where our tendency for grasping and clinging begins and remains so strong, we enter directly into the antidote to suffering, the non-clinging nature of all things.